whenever and wherever you are on this big, blue, beautiful planet. Thank you for joining us for the Cigar Box Guitar Builder podcast and or YouTube. Probably not going to do the YouTube today because I'm still struggling with camera issues. But we will definitely be catching up with the guys and answering your questions today. This episode is brought to you by the wonderful people at cbgiddy.com. Remember, there is an affiliate link in the episode description. So, without further ado, let's get started. All right, we are here. We're here with, we got Jesse, we got Dazza, and we got the birthday boy, Joe. So what's this one, Joe, 25? Is this 25, Joe? And we've frozen again.
21.
21 today. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Not possible.
That's it.
I'm definitely younger than you, Darren. I think everybody is.
Actually, I'm putting my hand up. I'm actually the oldest. I think. I'm 53.
How old are you, Adam?
I'm 53. I'll be 50.
Ooh.
I'll be 54 in
Old-timer.
August. I'll be 54 in August.
Yeah.
I know. You wouldn't know it, would you? You wouldn't know it. Look at this. Look at this baby face.
None the wiser. What's that, Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter? He doesn't age, does he?
No, he just picks bad movies.
Gosh.
Look. Look.
So how is everybody?
Good,
I'm
mate.
Tired.
Well, come on, Dazzle. What's your news? You got beautiful news.
I'm upright.
Yeah.
And?
Did you want to say, or do you want
Your
to?
grandson.
Oh.
Congratulations.
And another little boy.
Yeah.
That's it.
How many's that now?
Not very grumpy into Grampy. You gotta put an egg instead of a U. It's Grampies.
Grampies.
Instead of Grumpies.
Grampy.
Grandpa's little boys.
That's it. So Jesse and I are the only ones that don't have grandkids at the moment. Isn't it nice, mate?
Oh, that's yeah.
No, you got to get grandkids.
Yeah,
Not
they've
yet.
got it wrong, haven't they, Darren?
That's
Grandkids
right.
are awesome.
Not yet.
You can wind them up and then they get all messy or they start crying and you
And
can
you
just
send
hand them
them
back.
back.
Yeah.
So hang on. I think Joe dodged hang on a second, Darren. Hang on. Something more important than your grandchild. Joe dodged a question. Did you notice that?
Fuck, get out.
Did you notice that Joe dodged the question?
Missed that.
What?
How old were you, Joe?
What was the question?
How old were you?
When I had my first child.
No, your birthday.
I was...
49,
49.
he said.
You're 49.
He said that.
I didn't hear that. I was too busy
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, next year's the big 5-0.
Well, there you go. So that officially makes me the oldest of the group, the grandpa.
Yeah.
Well,
You are, Adam. You are definitely the oldest.
I am the oldest. I feel it sometimes too. I definitely owe an apology to the group as well. I don't know whether you've seen Karl-Heinz Lau's latest post on the group. It's a picture of I don't know if you can see this. The post he just did.
Yeah. That's very funny, though.
Yeah.
So
It's going on
he's
7th.
been sending me messages because he does other songs.
So he said it's going
So
on.
he always sends me messages.
He said it's going on 17 days without a
Okay, someone's
CBG
gonna put-
cover band challenge. And I do owe an apology. Now, hang on. The challenge hasn't ended. It's just that it's extended. Is this the third week?
We're losing Adam.
We're losing Adam.
Yeah, is this the third week? You guys still there? The fun of video, guys. Fun of videos. I'll try and edit these spots out during the
No.
Uh-oh.
Or is it the second week?
Bugger.
Where did he go?
Hang on, Adam.
It's
We're
always
having
got
technical
to be
difficulties.
That's all right.
Darren, you're
I think
running
Adam does it on purpose.
I'm still here.
Of technical
Yeah,
difficulties?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
So it has been
Oh,
through.
poor
All right.
Carl. Poor Carl.
I must admit,
No, this is the second week,
Yeah.
isn't it?
it's just, I'm sure it's the
No.
second week.
It's actually 2 weeks and a couple days.
All right. Okay. I will try and. I apologise, everyone.
It's okay. It's Carl.
Sorry, Jess. Sorry, Joe. You go.
Somebody talk.
Somebody.
So you got a bit of a bad connection, Adam. So there's a really long delay,
Yeah.
and you're a little bit choppy as well.
Yeah. And how's the connection
Must
here?
be that old age.
All right. So
Mine's great.
So let's a couple of things to talk about today, I suppose. If we see what happens. So far the camera's working, but we are having some issues. So if you're watching this on the videos, there's nothing we can do about it at the moment. It's just the connection where I am with the videos. So all right. So let's quickly go through what's been happening. Obviously, Darren, you've just been flat out. You've had an incredible week. Did you want to say the name of the bub?
Oh, yeah. Ren.
Very good.
W-R-E-N.
Oh, yep.
Very lovely.
That's
You ever seen the
original.
movie Footloose?
What movie?
Sorry?
Footloose with Kevin Bacon.
Footloose.
Yeah.
His name is Ren.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
there you go.
That's one of Jesse's favourite movies, I understand.
He's got all the moves down pat.
Yep.
Come on, Jesse. Let's see the dance move.
That's
There we
all,
go.
That's all I know. Sometimes I go up, sometimes I go sideways.
You just,
It's nice to spice it up a bit, isn't it?
yeah. They're always keeping us on our toes.
Gotta keep them thinking. Gotta keep them thinking.
Now, Jesse, mate, you've been flat out this week. I think I've seen you release three new guitars. Is that right? I think it was 3.
7.
2, 3. There's 3 that but there's 2 that I can't show.
Oh.
So
If you
5.
look really hard, it's in the background,
Okay.
but it's a secret.
This must be this must be another Trump initiative, because the only way Jesse can possibly be getting through all of these guitars and working his day job is if they're doing a 42-hour day now. Has Trump now issued a 42-hour day in America? How are you getting through these? I can't.
I don't pay attention to that stuff. This is my world right here.
Yeah.
But how are you
Same
fitting
one.
it all in? How are you? I don't understand how you're fitting in so much building. I've never seen anyone be so prolific with their building and still holding down a full-time job.
He must have a magic touch and make no mistakes, because I honestly spend half my time fixing my bloody mistakes.
I know a lot of elves. I know a lot of elves that come in at nighttime.
A lot of night time.
Oh dear.
Then
No,
Jesse.
I have little no.
Yeah.
They do all the work for me, and I just wake up and I say, "Good job."
Yeah. Oh wow! Look what you did last night.
I mean,
Here's your cookie.
That's my latest. And funnily enough, It's
Yeah,
inspired.
those are my favorite.
So this
That
is
looks nice and tasty.
well, this is inspired by two people, actually. To be honest with you, it's inspired firstly by Darren by using reclaimed timbers.
No.
I can see it.
And this is all, you got pine, I think it's hue and pine for the sides. We got cedar. It's actually cedar on the back. There's a lovely crack up there that I re-glued, but it actually looks really, really groovy. I'm just trying to do this slowly. The neck is, I don't know if you can see that, the neck is pallet timber. Look at that knot. So, but the timber itself, it's so lovely. The action's a touch high, so I just need to lower the bridge a little bit because I can feel it here. I'm using the 40-30-20 set, which I think are my favourites of the Killer strings, but it's just a little bit high off the fretboard. So I don't know whether this is coming through okay on the video, but that was my, and I'm working on 4. My computer's crapped itself, guys, so I'm still continuing for the podcast at the moment. So I'm still continuing on 4 orders at the moment. So you can see that I'm recalling. There we go. Hopefully the guys will come back up online because we lost that connection. It is very.
Adam.
Yeah, sorry guys. It's very dodgy.
We're online. It's you. You're not in line.
No,
You didn't hear anything.
my connection here is
So Adam,
far from good. I got you.
You're a school teacher. You respond to fingers in the air, don't you?
Yeah, I got you, mate.
So I'm just wondering, when are they going to remove the Faraday cage?
He did hear us.
You'll have to get that Faraday cage removed so we can get that signal back in.
Yeah.
No, copper shielding. You got copper shielding.
Yeah, I don't know
in
what's
there
going
or
on in
something,
here.
haven't you?
It's not a good connection, which is
I just worked it out.
Feedback.
I just worked it out. It's the perfect dome. That's why it's metal.
You dropped him down below.
I don't know if he understands what we're smacking
No,
him right now because the glum look on his face.
I must have missed it. Sorry.
It's frozen.
So yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. That's all right. That's all good. So Joe, what's been happening? Sorry, so I've been working on that guitar while I've been waiting for. I've got 4 orders that I'm working on at the moment, which are all at the same stage. But I've noticed that I don't know whether you'd recognise this, Joe, but if you're working on 4 guitars at exactly the same time, it seems now that they're taking 4 times longer to get done. So, what do you think?
So I think you're asking if I'm not too sure what the question was. So you're saying like it takes, if you're building 4 at once, it takes 4 times as long?
Yeah, no, 4 times longer.
Quicker. It's
Quicker.
quicker.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely quicker.
For sure.
Yeah.
No.
I learned that many. Sorry.
Time out. Well, it takes longer.
It takes long. Yes.
I think it's quicker to get a guitar done to get an answer, a question out of Adam.
Yeah.
I just built two while we were waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Joe, what has been going on with you?
You did that 3 times.
With me, I have just been working like crazy, actually. It's been a lot of work. And I had my birthday this weekend. I wasn't planning on doing anything. You know, I'm 50 next year, so 49 is not as significant. But no, I ended up having a couple mates around on Friday night and some workmates, and they're much younger than me. They're like the same age as my middle child, so I was partying with the young boys, and oh my God, did I pay for that Saturday morning? But it was fun. It was fun. And then, and then just had a family barbecue Saturday night, and that was pretty good. And my daughter made me that cigar box guitar cake, which was delicious.
Saw that. That looks awesome. Cake.
And because I had a lot of people coming around, I've been after work all week. I've just been sort of cleaning up the shed and cleaning up around the house and getting everything ready. And so yeah, it's taken a bit, but I'm really, really keen to start working again back in the shed. It's all clean, everything's organised. I've got all these new drawers and filing systems, and now I need to mess it all up and make something. So yeah, just doing the grind, but constantly thinking that I just want to get into a new build.
You finished that Jimi Hendrix thing too, didn't you?
I did. That little plaque thing, yeah, I did finish. I was actually a little bit disappointed with that. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I had like a cookie cut out of a tree. It kind of looked like a guitar pick. And for a friend of mine, I laser imaged a Jimi Hendrix image in it, and then I filled it full of purple resin. And would you believe that the pigment color was called purple haze? So the actual purple I put into the Jimi Hendrix plaque was called purple haze. Yeah.
That's
but
awesome.
The problem is when I designed all this, the wood was sanded but had no oil or finish on it. So it had the light blonde color that wood has when it's like dry.
Mm.
And so the purple looked amazing. But then as soon as I started to oil it, all the grain of the wood popped up and it darkened up, and it became really hard to actually see the Jimi Hendrix image.
Oh,
so it was. So no sparkle. There was no glitter coming out of that purple. I was a bit disappointed. It wasn't a perfect project, but it was a gift for a friend that they didn't know they were getting it. So it was well loved and well received. I just wasn't fully satisfied with it. And you guys know what it's like being a builder. You know, if you got an idea in your head and it's really a strong idea, and then the end result doesn't meet your expectations, you get a bit disappointed about it. Hey,
almost every time.
My guitars.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So annoying. Hey, and then you show someone your work, and you're like, "Look what I just built," and they're going, "Wow, that's amazing!" And all you're doing is pointing out all the flaws, all the bits you don't like. You know, it's a builder's curse. Yeah, builder's curse.
Human nature too, mate. We tend to do that, and we tend to downplay a lot of things. I put up two posts this week. I probably put more up, but I've put 2 posts up specifically to get content or to get people to talk on the group, and I was really quite surprised. Yeah, really quite surprised with the feedback from a lot of people. I just wanted to read through some. First one was me asking, so I said, so as we near 14,000 members, I was wondering how many builders out there do this as their main job and who wants to go pro. And boy, oh boy, did we get some divisive comments, some really interesting, nothing dramatic and nothing where people were having a go or anything, which was really lovely. And I tend to find with our group that our group members tend to be pretty cool with each other, to be honest with you. But I just thought I'd read out some of the posts because people may have missed it. Michael Pinkerton, I'm going to paraphrase Mike because Michael actually put in a quite a big comment, but I'll just paraphrase him. He said, "How to become a millionaire selling CBGs? Start with 2 million." So I like that one. Dean Dostal said, "For me, building is about more than just creating something. It's about making living a life that's true to who I am and doing what I love." He thinks it would be very difficult to make a living building cigar box guitars. Wolf Proctor, we know Wolf. Wolf is always one with an interesting comment. He's just got a very short comment, which was, while I certainly enjoy it, building CBGs is how I pay the bills. So, Wolf is obviously he's a full-time builder. I loved your comment, Jesse, which was really great. In my mind, it's certainly more than a hobby. I live for it. And it's saying it's been a dream for a decade to do it. You're obviously, you're fully committed to it, and you just got to try and find. I think the thing is just, and the same thing I'm trying to do, Jesse, and believe me, I think you and I are really in quite a similar boat, where I think we've just got to find our niche. There's a niche market there, and it's difficult to, especially when you're relying on social media. It's very, very difficult to get content out there, and especially organic content where you're basically building. It's almost the honest way of doing it if you're thinking about it, right? So organic. There's two different forms of advertising. There's organic, and then there's advertising as such. So where you pay Facebook or you pay Instagram to put posts up to advertise your product and hopefully get people to click the link. Whereas what you will notice is that the people who are tending to get the most amount of followers are either doing a couple of different things. One, it sounds quite sexist, but yes, there are people out there who are basically, bringing in likes based on body image. All right, so there's obviously that side of things as well. It's and you know what I'm talking about. The other way of doing things is, as we were talking about, trying to do things the organic way, which is to try and bring people in naturally just by doing things like this and talking and socializing. And then the other way of doing things is by bots, where you sign up to different kind of platforms and things like that, and they basically ram your content onto other viewers' platforms. And yes, sometimes they'll say, yes, look, I've gone from 5,000 followers to 50,000 followers in 2 weeks. But the problem is, we are a very niche type of market, very, very much so. And, what's the point of using a bot or using something like that to ram your content to all of those people, have all of those people kind of sign up, and then I think the problem then is that you lose a true understanding of who is actually following you. If we look at Del Puckett, for example, I'll use Del Puckett for an example, and even Michael Ballerini, Darren? Michael Ballerini, I think, Southern Fire Guitars. Both of those guys have got somewhat near...
Baconi.
What was it? Baconi, something like that, yeah. Both obviously very influential builders. Both, great players. Michael's a good player. Dell's fantastic. Dell's really, really quite great. Even Dell tends to be quite opinionated religiously and that sort of things as well. But I think the way he does it, I don't feel it's kind of rammed down your throat. So he hasn't alienated me as a viewer. But if you look at how many people are actually watching per episode, they might have 35,000 people subscribed, but they're not getting 35,000 views per video. So my question is, it's not always about how many people are clicking subscribe. I'm saying this not just for Jesse, I know I was referring to you and what you're building, but for people out there who are looking at their YouTube content and their YouTube followers. It's those ones that are constantly following you all the time, who are clicking all the time. That's your core audience right there, Jesse,
That's right.
and I apologise for talking because I'm very passionate about this side of marketing. And see, with Jesse and with myself, and who are looking at it from a very business centered kind of point of view. Yes, we love it, and we're very passionate about it. Jesse, I don't think you'd be doing this if you weren't passionate about it. What happens?
I don't remember life before it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I did with any spare time before building guitars.
Yeah,
but I'm very stubborn, and to me, I want them to sell themselves.
Yeah,
because that's what art does. You don't have to push art for somebody to like it or buy it. That's my way of thinking, and it kind of bites me in the ass.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to quit doing the way I do things.
No, you got to stay true to your passion, and if organically is the way that you choose, then that's the way you choose. Same for me.
But I think the thing is, and I say this, I'm trying to say this diplomatically, because Jesse, you and I are in the same boat, and this is something I've really had to seriously consider, is the fact that a lot of the, if I use the term advertising that we do, and that's demonstrating our product, showing our product, especially with the group, that there's two different jobs, right? So over here is the Facebook group, and over here is kind of everything else in a way. The Facebook group, whatever you put on the Facebook group, all right, you're advertising to people who are already builders. So we're doing that as an educational thing, right? So that's educational, and that does two different things. One, it helps our members. Two, it helps you and me create a sense of a bond, all right, and a sense of authenticity about what we're doing. It does, it's what we do. I've been doing this podcast since 2016, on and off.
I love our group, and
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sell guitars to the members in our group. No. So, it is a case of trying to think, if I want to get my product out there, one, I want to do it honestly. And two, I want to do it in a way that is going to promote my business. And I mean business. So it is going to promote my business and help me develop client relationships. And that's separate to the group. And that's...
like, for example, like your Birdwood guitars, your Hummingbird guitars, I'm Clutch Creations, and Darren is now Grampy?
Grampy.
Yeah, Grampy. Yeah,
but I don't make any money from it.
No.
Well, up your game then, Grampy. But my point is we all have those side Facebook pages, and that's what we use to promote for business.
Yeah.
The Facebook group, I may share as Joel Oltean, or I may share as Clutch Creations, and that is to entice people to share my business page, so hopefully I can drum up some more sales.
Yeah.
Not necessarily through members of the group, but them liking a video I share, they want to share with their friend base, and then it gets passed around here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I hope for.
I was surprised.
I like sharing ideas too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jesse, you've been doing amazing things with the pickup that you've been doing, and we're loving seeing all of the experiments that you're doing. And again, I'm trying to wrap my head around how you find the time to do it. There's something going on over there. I don't know how. It's like your little world. It's like time has slowed down. I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, I don't understand.
It's the brass.
Yeah, what I was surprised with the comments from
water.
I was most surprised with the fact that I think as I go through, there wasn't much of a middle ground. it was either people, yes, this is something I really, really, really want to do, but I can't get there yet. I can't do this to eke out a living doing that. Or there was the people over here who were like, no, I do it for fun. I couldn't imagine doing it as a business. I sell enough just so that I can buy some more. And that's, I think, how we all got into it. That's how I got into it. I just started, I built a few, and then I thought, hey, they're pretty good. I need some more parts. I'd like to do some more. I'll put it on eBay, and whatever I sell on eBay, I'll just use the money to get some more bits and pieces. And I need a new, I like that bandsaw from Aldi. If there was a bandsaw at Aldi for $150, I thought, I'll chuck something on eBay and sell. So I sold a guitar on eBay, and I had my money to go and buy my bandsaw. And it's like that. And there seems to be people doing that, but it's interesting in that there's not a lot of people there who I could see who were like you and me, Jess, who are kind of really trying, and it's hard. It's hard. You get like I've got a just we're talking finances and all that sort of stuff of being a builder. A month ago to 6 weeks ago, I sold 4 guitars within a week and a half, all orders, and that was a great money influx. But the problem is that apart from a couple of pedal sales, I have had a couple little sales in between. Sold a fretless guitar on Friday through the website. See, I don't sell through eBay. I've got guitars on eBay, but I rarely ever sell through eBay because my guitars are more expensive than the guitars that are on eBay. So it tends to be the cheaper makers tend to go there, except for Buzzard. Yep. Except for our friend Pete Vivas from Buzzard. He uses eBay. He's got some beautiful guitars on there as well. But mine are generally, the ones that I've got are more expensive than his as well. And
I've never listed a guitar for sale.
No, I think you've been like word of mouth.
I'm word of mouth and consignment. So before I even start a build, it's already sold.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I'm not in the same league as you guys at all. I can't spit them out as quickly as you guys. Like to sell 4 in a week, I can't even fathom that.
Well,
I don't have the inventory to do that.
Yeah.
Because I build one at a time, and I'm really slow. They take forever.
Yeah.
But it's a sense of security that I like. I like to know that I have it's already sold before I even start. I feel less pressure to have to then find a buyer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I've got a friend of mine up here. He's in Hazelbrook, and he's got a guitar. He's got a guitar building business, and he was saying to me at the beginning of the year, he made 4 sales, and these are sales that are coming up, and he got a good whack of cash for that, quite good. You'd go, okay, wow, and these are handmade acoustic guitars. These are like flamenco style guitars. These are we're talking bending your own timbers and doing all this stuff. But we were talking about it, and I could see the worry in his face, because we were talking about it, and I said, well, how much is that each? And he said, well, I also give away a Hiscox bag with it, and I do this and I do that. And I said, well, let's work that out. And I got my calculator, I worked it out. He's working for $25 an hour. He's working for $25.
If he's getting
25.
That's actually pretty good.
No, it's not good.
That's actually pretty good.
Joe, it's not.
No, it's not.
120.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. 128 hours it takes him. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, but who of us gets to charge per hour, though, really?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Yeah, right.
I look at every guitar that I
can't do that.
I do.
If I charge per hour one of my high-end builds, I have to sell it for about $6 to $8 grand, and I just can't do that.
Yeah. He's in the same situation, Joe, with what he does. It takes him 128 hours to build each guitar. Yeah.
I hit 200, 300 on my high-end builds. Like I've done 300 hours on one guitar, and that's impossible to sell per hour.
He doesn't do anything else as a job. This is his main job.
Yeah.
And he has a school as well. And, you know, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, you can't build a business. You can't build a business on $25 an hour. You can't. You have to treat yourself. And so I know what I'm saying, and I sound really. When you get to a position where you are actually treating it as a business, as a business, and I know this might be.
You have to look at it per hour.
Well, look at an electrician. Have a look at an electrician or a plumber their rates. When you start, this is why when you start building guitars and you decide, okay, I'm going to sell a guitar, a lot of people start selling quite inexpensively because they're kind of feeling, I'm not sure, I really want to test the market. I don't want to rip anyone off. I want to, I'm not a really great builder. All of these things that are coming out. And it's natural to say that as you are developing a craft. But after 14 years of building cigar box guitars and electric guitars, I consider myself a luthier. I'm self-taught, but I've built electric guitars. I've built six-string guitars. Jesse, you're a luthier. You're a luthier. You're a specialist. You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience developing and creating and molding these instruments which play beautifully. Joe, I sit there and I look at the work that you're doing, that intricate, fine, delicate work with all of these different mediums that you're using as well. And Darren, the work you've done when you started and to where you are now and how you're doing things now and the setup that you've got in your workshop. You know, we've got, 4 different people here with 4 different mindsets. And when it comes to developing, either having a business or using it as, which is what we're doing, which is using it to supplement an income that we're doing. None of the 4 of us are full-time doing this. And then you have Darren, who's kind of, in my opinion, the purest of us all, because Darren just does it because he loves it. He does it because he loves it,
Yeah, I agree.
And I envy Darren in many ways. I sit there, having a chat with Darren. What are you doing today? He goes, I don't feel like building today. I don't want to. I'm doing the yard today.
I don't feel like doing anything any day.
You just do it. You do it when you want to do it. Whereas today, I know I've got to go downstairs and work on those 4 guitars because they're already, all 4 of them are at the cutoff point now. One of them's actually gone over, and I've been in contact with all the clients, and they're all wonderful. I got sick in the middle of it. I got a bug in the middle of it, which took me out of action for nearly 2 weeks as well. So I couldn't be around wood dust. So I had a respiratory problem. So it happens, That's the thing. But anyway, it's always interesting. I love putting these up, and everyone who commented had such a different thing to say. Now, the next thing. So thank you, those people who commented. We had 43 comments.
Me also, and I see this in the group.
Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
Sorry. So there is that option C as well, where you may try to make a business, make a little money. You may do it just for a hobby. But the option C is we all want to be part of a big collective tribe. We all want to have something in common, and the brotherhood, deep down in our, in our brains, we're all looking for that camaraderie.
That's the drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We may be outcasts, in other aspects of life, but you know what? We all build cigar box guitars, and that's what brings us together. So that's cool.
That's it. And I love the fact that with
sorry, not my voice.
No, I love the fact that with our group, we've got all of these different people who have all of these different dreams and aspirations, and everyone kind of joins together, and it's like everyone's been so respectful. It's just been such a lovely thing, It's been very, very, very cool. The second question I had, which was basically, hey, we're doing a podcast today. I am trying to do the video. I will release a video on YouTube as well. People have contacted me. They still want me to upload the podcast. The podcast is harder to upload.
Start again.
All right. So, people have...
we didn't catch any of that, Adam.
You're right, mate. People have asked me to continue uploading the podcast. It's not because they're not enjoying this format, but there's obviously problems with this format at the moment, the way it is. Probably until I can either do one of two things. One is either get myself a new computer, which I can't afford at the moment, and two, try and get better speed out of the internet that I've got here at the moment. Neither of which I can do anything about immediately. So the questions that we had, the second questions were, I did say I wasn't going to release a video. I am going to release a video, but there's a lot of... I don't like releasing something that doesn't work smoothly, and I don't have software to edit the videos, so it's going to go out raw. So if you're watching this and there's pauses and stops and issues with it, I apologise, because it is going to sound different on the on Podbean or on the podcast. All right, first question was...
We're all just doing our best anyway.
That's it. First question was, how important is box selection? Go.
Who wants it? Darren.
Oh, sorry, that was from David James. That's from David James.
I think that's a personal question that's going to get a lot of different answers because me personally, I don't care if because I never go for an acoustic. I shouldn't say never, but
so you're talking sound wise, you don't care.
Sound wise, I don't care. As far as the wood, whether it's paper or solid wood, I don't really care about that either because I'm at bracing. And
yeah,
9 out of 10 times there's going to be a magnetic pickup. So as long as it looks cool,
For me, it's box size has to do with playability for the feel. If it's too thin and I'm trying to sort of, hold it up and have a strum, I kind of can't hold onto it properly. Yeah, look at that thing. So if it's electric and you plug it in, that doesn't make a difference whether that's a big box or little box. But for me, that's too thin. I don't feel like I'm holding on to something. I build, this is the size, I've built this size quite a few times, and I messed around with it a fair bit. This is actually the size that I use on all my high-end ones. They're exactly the same, because this is the size that I like.
10 inches?
Beg your pardon?
About 8 inches by 10 inches?
I would say, because I'm not inches, I'm centimetres, millimetres, I would say it is 10 by, say, 12 to 14.
Oh, okay.
And about that to me, the length is irrelevant. It's the height of the box that I like. I don't like them to be thin. I don't like them to be too big. I like them about, just under a finger width. So that's the part. And then now I feel like I'm holding something. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Look at
I know that same feeling.
Yeah, Darren's size is similar to what I like.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't hold it.
Yeah, you can't hold it. That's right. That one's a big one.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the one I like. That one.
That's a Dazza special. Oh, that's nice.
But again, as Jesse said, that opinion is only mine. And everyone has their own opinion, and a lot of it is personal feel. But that between 8 to 10 to 12 inches around there, I think that's the perfect size.
I think it matters. Put it this way. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but right, that's that one.
Yeah.
And this one is arguably thicker.
deeper. There's
got
more
a
tone
deeper.
in that one.
It's deeper, but it's not louder.
Yeah.
It's not louder, and that's acoustic. Look, you know what? I'm of the rule that the best box is the one you can get your hand on. Here in Australia,
That's true.
it's the one you can get your hand on,
Yeah.
and it's what you do with it on the inside. And this is the thinnest, almost one of the thinnest cigar boxes that you can get. I played around with. We've popped in one of those. The $6.50 CB Giddy ones that I mount from the top. There's actually, if anyone uses those, you know the bass pickups that you can get, whether you get it from CB Giddy or whoever you get it from, it doesn't matter. You get your parts from where you get your parts, and we hit the people that you love. That's all cool. We know that. But these little bass pickups, they're actually really, really fun. But go and check out Chicken Bone John's YouTube channel, and he has a really clever way of installing these where you don't have to mount them into a block in the middle of the box. You can actually mount them directly to the top. You just cut the tabs on the side. You turn those long pieces on the side, those long semicircular pieces on the side, you cut them off to a height, and then you basically just screw it into the top of the box. And they're great. They're really, really great little things. Anyway, I digress. The fact of the matter is that, sometimes, especially if you live in Europe or you're living in Australia or New Zealand, getting boxes can actually be really, really difficult. It can be really hard. Ultimately, if you're going to put a pickup in it, whether it's a piezo pickup or an electric guitar pickup, it's not going to matter. Joe, you're right. I think there's a feel that sometimes some people like. I don't care about that being a slim line because when I'm sitting there with it, it doesn't bother me. Thin box, thick box, it's all personal. It's all totally personal. You're absolutely right. But I think sometimes having those little thin boxes, don't knock them, because there's all interesting ways that you can actually problem solve. You know what I mean? Like half the fun of building these guitars is problem solving, and this.
You're supposed to build with what you've got.
Yeah, this was a nightmare. This was really. I had the box for ages, and it took a long time to decide how exactly I wanted to. Yeah, it's gorgeous, and it's rough. Like you can feel the texture on it, and it's unfinished. Actually, it's not unfinished. I did put a water-based sealer over the top of it. Not aqua clear. What is it? Cabot's. The Cabot's one, the water-based sealer, which I absolutely love. It's kind of like a milky clear coat. It's beautiful. Yep. It's my favourite. I love it. I don't like using polyurethanes or anything that's too that's too heavy. Even on the necks. On the necks, what am I using, Darren? I'm using the what's that oil? Not tongue oil. I do use tongue oil, but the other one. Linseed. That's the one. Linseed oil. And I love the feel of the wood, and every now and again, you can I feel there's a slight little rough spot there. I just kind of feel, but I love that. It's just, this is old pallet timber. Yeah, man, it's got character. It's fun. But yeah, wow, that went longer than I thought. Okay. So next question I get. Oh yeah, Michael Pinkerton. I get a lot of questions in regards to what effects I use in my music.
Great question.
Yeah, from which pedals for basic effects, what pedal order, how to set up a pedal board, what kind of patch cables, isolator, power supplies, etc. All right, let's simplify this, Joe, because I know you're doing a lot with effects. Jesse, you've been playing with effects as well, haven't you? So
yeah, I don't own any pedals. So I have all modeling, like a modeling amp.
Yeah,
has presets on it. But I guess I do have a couple of effects pedals. One actually Michael Pinkerton gifted to me.
Yeah,
I really love the fuzz on that. But I'm more of a distortion guy more than different other, reverb and stuff like that. So I'm really not the guy to ask about any of that stuff.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The presets, I use a lot of presets. Michael Pinkerton, he's actually the guy to answer this question, in my opinion. He's got the whole lot covered.
For sure.
I like a processor pedal. So it's not like you can get a distortion pedal, you can get a reverb pedal, you can get a chorus pedal. Now you've got to have them all in chain. You can have them in different orders. They create different effects. I'm more of a multi-effects processor guy.
Yeah.
So I have this little pedal. It's called a Mooer, 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 GE100. And it's pretty cheap. It's only about $100 Australian. So I imagine what's that about $60 US.
20.
And it has, similar to that. And it has every single thing you could possibly imagine. It has 100 presets in it, but it also has 100 user ones that I can alter myself. So I can go into all these different patches and download them, or I can change them and create my own. And then, so I think of a song. So, you might have a song that you're learning and the intro is clean or may have a bit of chorus, and then it goes into something heavy. So I'll set up two side by side so that I can control them on a foot switch. And by having that all in one pedal makes my system a lot easier. And then I bought this for Christmas. This thing is an absolute weapon.
Oh, the plasma.
The plasma. There's only 400 of these in the world. They're made by hand in a company in Lithuania, and it runs off a Tesla coil. So, the Tesla coil that shoots off all the electricity. This is that in controlled version. So instead of being a normal circuit board where you have soldering and all that kind of stuff, your input goes in one side, and then through this screen, the electric waves, you can visually see your sound going to the other connection. And it's a beast. It's absolutely insane, this thing. Handmade in Lithuania, designed by Jack White and Third Man Records. So to get that Jack White Stripes dirty sound. And it's not a distortion pedal. It's none of that. It's a frequency controller. So I have low frequency, and I can drop that, and I can get some deep bass, like I'm in some cranky bass. And then it's got the high frequency, and everything is done just by controlling the frequency. And then it has this voltage one. I can go from 0 volts to 5,500 volts. Wow. And this thing is like ready to explode. What that is like a noise gate. So I can have these dirty sounds, and if I turn the voltage right down and I hit a note and I go like dun 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 dun, the second I stop, this thing stops on a dime. Like, it is just so precise. But if I crank that voltage right up, I now have sustain. And when I hit my notes, they just ring out. And it is crazy. Like, as you can see, I'm in a metal shed. This thing, when it's up, when my amp is up and this thing is up, my entire shed shakes. It is like, I have neighbours that are about 6 houses down that are going, "Oh, you're the guitar guy. Yeah, we hear you most Sundays." And that's because of this thing. It is an absolute weapon. But other than that, I keep it very, So mine's even more simple than that. I just have a single processor.
All right. The reason I put
Adam,
this up,
what do you got there?
So this is my pedal. These at the moment, these are my favourite pedals, right? Guitar signal comes into here. Now here's your basic rule for pedal setup. So if people have got pedals, and this is going to depend entirely upon what you want to do as a player, and so not everything is set in stone. But as a rule, because of impedance, if you've got a fuzz, it's usually good to put your fuzz first, especially if it's a fuzz face. Now, if you've got a fuzz face, they must go first in your signal chain because of pickup impedance. Otherwise, you'll end up with a really thin kind of sound. So your fuzz face type pedals must go first, and that's a fuzz, right? If you've got other types of fuzz, like a big muff, or one of those multi-stage fuzzes, the other modern types, they can go anywhere in your set. But from here to here is my overdrive, or my drive stage, right? So that's your fuzz first. Second, I'm using the jam. I'm actually using the jam pedal, and I've got the gain set relatively low. So this is actually this is like a rat. And this is just the jam version of the rat pedal. And this is actually lovely, just kind of wound down. If I just want like a bit of an overdrive sound, I'm using this for an overdrive. This one was really hard to find. This took me, this was my fourth attempt on using eBay and Reverb. And I finally managed to get one on Reverb. The first 3 times I tried, they kept coming down. The sale didn't go through. There were issues with the owner. I finally got one. This is the Joe Satriani Saturator. And this is gorgeous. I love this.
That'd be great. That'd be a great pedal. I'd love to have a go at that one.
You gotta it's silent switching, mostly. As opposed from you hear that?
Yeah.
Right, and
yeah.
they click. This is silent.
Yeah, same here. This one's silent.
Yeah.
Nice and silent. Can't hear it at all.
And but this has actually got a built-in boost, right? But the boost only works when the drive section of this pedal's on. So the boost won't work if you're trying to boost this one or this one, right? Boost pedals, by the way, I would suggest go here. So if you're going to use a clean boost, like the Electro Harmonix PBL1, well, I build a version of that, and that's really nice after the fuzz face and in between here, because then you can have this on as a soft drive and then use the boost to actually boost the signal into that, and then you get a big smash right before it. So that's fun. Anyway, after your drive section, that's where you put your... Now, this is the Caverns. This is the Keeley Caverns. And on this one, I've got a delay and I've got reverb. So if I want a delay or reverb on here, super handy. Lots of amplifiers have reverb, but this is where you would generally put like your phases or your flanges or even your octave kind of effects after the drive. Generally not before. Or you can put this in your effects loop stage on your amplifier, but I think that's another thing for another time. The most important thing, if you can, get yourself a decent, good quality power board. All right, this is. I used to sell these through at the shop, the Ernie Ball little power bricks there, and they're really good. Get a decent quality one, otherwise they can tend to be a bit noisy, but otherwise they're fine. Now, a lot of us use digital amplifiers, battery-powered digital amplifiers, right? Now, what I've discovered is that you see this one here behind me, the Cube, the Street Cube, right? If I'm using that on battery setting, so not plugged into the wall, and I use effects pedals that are plugged into the wall, it can be quite noisy, right? What I've found, they're not as noisy if you're using batteries, but as we know, not all effects pedals take batteries, and I'm not a big fan of using batteries because I just think it's just adding to the world's problems. But anyway, that's what I feel. What does work better is if you're using an effects board, right, and that effects board is plugged into mains power, plug that into mains power as well, because you then get that earth, because you end up with an earth problem otherwise. All right, so earth everything that you can, because when you're using batteries on that, there's an earthing problem. So you're going to get a lot of earth buzz and stuff like that on your guitars. So plug these in if you're using plugged-in pedals. So that's my big suggestion there. And Darren, you've got a couple of pedals from me, but you're using that one of those Spark amplifiers.
Well,
yeah.
Originally, when I first started playing guitar, this was the only effects that I had.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. Was a Toneworks. I've had this over 25 years.
Yeah, that's blast from the past.
Pocket processor.
But then I got a Spark amp, and then like you get an app on your phone, and you got over 10,000 different kinds of effects, which is pretty good. But when I play, I don't play with anything. Like I'll go and play with that for a little while, and then get rid of it, and just have a
acoustic
a guitar sound. Yeah.
Just acoustic. Yeah, I
Only
mean,
when I'm playing electric on through the amp, I generally play with nothing.
yeah, I've got to admit, like
I
most.
have my favourite amp that I use at the moment. Hang on, I've got to put some power on. My favourite amp at the moment is one I built just before Christmas, and I got this old 1930s radio here.
Yeah.
And this has a Fender Rumble 25 watt.
Oh, bass amp.
The 2020, the 2022 version.
Yeah.
So it's a Bluetooth modular head that I sync up to my laptop, and I can download patches to it directly.
Oh, wow.
I really like it because it's like brand new technology in a vintage old technology. And I put touch creations inside there to
I
add
can
a little
see
bit
that,
of my
yeah.
personality to it. And I made this whole. Yeah, I put it back out there to see.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then
That's
all
great.
this I made the speaker base out of string art. That's all string art. And it's LED controlled. But I love this bass amp. And that's my little Moore pedal right here. So this is my processor.
Yeah.
And basically, it has 10 different delays, 10 different phases. You know, I can tap into anything. I can do bass fuzz, I can do hog fuzz, I can do all kinds of stuff with that little processor. It's a fantastic thing. And so those two together, that pedal and this amp, I love it. And the reason I like the bass amp is because my main guitar is a 4-string guitar, and I use the lower 4 strings out of a 6-pack. So mine is essentially a 6-string guitar, for you right-handers. So my bass, E, A, D, G, I don't have the two higher ones.
So
to me, this is kind of a bass guitar.
All right, Joe, this is perfect.
So I sort of just go in that direction. And I really love the depth that amp gives me on this guitar.
Yeah. So
beautiful.
Perfect segue, Joe. Because Mitch Wiley asks, what string gauges are preferred for certain scale lengths and tunings? For example, 23-inch and open A, E, or G. You all right, Jess?
Yeah.
No.
I actually don't dive too far into string gauges. I'm not that fussy. I like a couple brands, and I just sort of try them out. Hang on, we'll just let Jesse die off there in the corner.
You all right, buddy?
Bad the last couple months.
Hang on, let's just go big screen. Let's get the big cough from Jess. Go, Jess. Come on, let's give us a big snot run.
I honestly can't remember what my real voice sounds like.
You've been like that for a while now.
2 months.
Yeah. You probably would know more about string gauges, Adam, than I do, because I honestly don't really care. I just grab a set that I like. I like working with the low 10 pack.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Look, okay, so
but I don't really sort of. Yeah, you go for it, because I don't really dive too much into what string gauge I use.
All right, so my string journey. Okay, basically I've been using Ernie Ball strings most of my entire life. And usually in standard tuning.
I use Ernie Ball.
Yeah, they're the ones, the Slinkies.
The pack I like.
They're the ones I really love. The ones that are a little heavier than that as well, the orange packet.
Same here.
The orange packet as well is a very, very good one. What we've got
I've done
now,
the purple pack, and I've done the purple pack. Purple pack is a heavy bottom.
That's the 11s. So that's it. That's your 11s. So when I had the shop at Katoomba, the most popular strings, the most popular strings for me to sell were the green pack, the orange pack, and the 10s, the 2 sets of 10s. I think they're 10 to 42s, 10 to 46, and then the 11 to 48 or 11 to I think it's 11 to 48 or something like that. I don't think it's 11 to 52. Might be 52. I went through a stage because I'm a huge Zakk Wylde fan of using the boomers, the GHS strings that he was using back in the 2000s, and they were 60s. but I never recut the nut on my Les Paul, so it was always really weird, man. That was just down tuned crazy. But look, here's the important thing. When and I've gone through and I've used cheap strings. I've used the Alice strings I was using for ages. We can order those here in Australia. They're cheap. I've used the ones from CBG Emporium.
Sorry, we missed you.
No, you're right. I've used so the strings I've used the Alice cheap strings, the ones we can get here in Australia. They're pretty cheap. I used the ones from CBG Emporium, the Devil's Hand strings from Mark Wilmot. I've used those. The Ernie balls were my favourite. I kept coming back to them, but they were too expensive. So when I met, and this isn't a plug, I apologise if it sounds like a plug, but the truth of the matter is that, yes, I do. I am the Australian seller for Killer Strings Australia, but the simple fact of the matter is that I feel that as far as the cigar box guitar strings are concerned, I've used CB Giddy strings as well. I think they're pretty good. I don't know about Michael Breedlove's. I should order some actually and do a proper comparison and see what I think. What
about?
Sorry, Joe.
What about the elixirs? Do you ever use the elixirs?
Wouldn't touch them with a barge pole.
Do you ever use the elixirs?
No, hate them. Hate them.
Really? I love them.
Hate them.
I love them.
No.
I love them because they last forever.
No, yuck. Hate the feel. Hate the touch. Hate the yuck.
I have a problem with rust.
I have a problem. I have sensory issues, and I can feel it. You can feel my hands at the moment now. I can't. Yuck. It's like paper straws. It's like using paper straws. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a moment now.
Scratching the blackboard.
I'm okay with that because I'm a teacher.
Oh, sorry. I hit a soft spot.
I can do that. I'm a teacher, but no, I can't.
Before using Killer Strings, I used to use these ones.
Yeah.
Because I only like the colour green.
Yeah. Green is good. I like the elixirs because in my area, I'm in the tropics.
Yes.
I'm in the tropics, and I do struggle with rust, and I find my strings rust very quickly, where if I have the elixirs, I can go maybe 6 months. Yeah. They do have a bit of a weird feel, but I like the longevity of them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that 100%. The thing I like about the Killer Strings is that they feel good, and I like the way they feel. So I will talk about that gauge. Now, the gauge that you've gone for there, the Ernie balls. So we use the Ernie balls as the example because not everyone's using Killer Strings or the CBGD strings or the MGB. A lot of people are just using whatever strings they get from a music shop or eBay and online and all that sort of stuff. So here's the deal. When you go and get your Ernie ball strings, that green set, they're going to be fantastic for open G if you use the ADG strings. If you're using a 24-inch to 25.5-inch scale, they'll be pretty good. They can get a little bit, but if you use that same set and tune to G on a 23-inch scale, I would probably suggest you use the 6, the 5, and the 4, if that makes any sense, because you're going to lose tension. They'll get very flabby because you're not the string the scale length is shorter. Okay, so if the scale length is shorter and you're using a lighter gauge, the strings will be a lot more flabby, right? If it's a longer scale length, okay, and let's say the same thing, if you used the ADG strings on a baritone and tuned up to G, it'd probably be really tight. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense with that. So if you're going to go and use a 23-inch, or even Del Puckett makes some 21-inch scale necks, which are really, really quite short, you'll notice he generally uses the heavier wound strings, like the 44, 32, 22 kind of string gauges, like they're wound strings all the way through on 3 strings. You need that extra
to create more tension.
That's exactly right, and that's why it's good to kind of experiment a little bit. I generally don't. The shortest scale length I do is 24 inches. I don't do anything 24 inches. I don't do anything less than 24 as a rule, unless it's just something that, like, as I'm building a couple of little inexpensive diddly bows, because I'm doing a market next Sunday. I'm going up to Blackheath and doing an Easter market up there. I've signed up to do markets again, which I'm really excited about. So I hope that helps. If there's it's just a case, guys. And here's the funny thing: you can get a 10 to 42 set from Ernie Ball, and a 10 to 42 set from another company, and they'll feel completely different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It also depends on what material the strings are actually made from. Okay, so let's move. Okay, so to continue on with that, yes, I'm still very new. Tony Hudson says, I'm still very new to all of this. If I buy a set of 6 strings, can I use all the strings to build 2 3-string fretless guitars? If so, what combination? If not, still having fun building. Cheers. I've just said yes, absolutely. Darren Goodpastor said, or you can get CBG specific strings from sorry, I didn't mean to read. So that was a plug for killer strings from Darren Goodpastor. Look, the simple thing is that yes, if you've got a 6-string set, there's a wonderful book that was put out. What's his name? I can't remember his name. I'll have to find it somewhere. Anyway, his first 2 guitars, he built a guitar for him and he built a guitar for his daughter, and he used a single set of strings and he tuned it to E, and then he tuned the other one to E. So he had the thick strings on the tuned to E, B, E, and then on the high strings, they were both the same scale length. I don't know what scale length they were, but then he tuned the other one to E, B, E using the high strings as well. So you almost had like a bass or you had a trebly kind of sound for the high ones. I think he gave that to his daughter, and then he had the low ones. Yeah, man. Look, I put together guitars using 3 different strings from 3 different sets, and made up. And I just tuned it to get to attention and tried to find some sort of an open chord. Experiment. My suggestion is this is all about experimenting. All right, Johnny Devilseed. Johnny Devilseed is an incredible musician from the Central Coast. I'm actually chatting with him at the moment about possibly having a festival. So we're discussing festivals at the moment, and we're looking at maybe putting something together. Fingers crossed, we've got some ideas. We're just introducing it. So big thumbs up. Check out Johnny Devilseed. He's incredibly active. I haven't seen him in ages, but he was part of the scene for ages and ages. So hopefully Johnny's back. He's a great guy. He's a lot of fun. He's actually a really good musician too. He said, I have a question. If you play a CBG, does it make you a better human being? By that I mean, does it raise your social status from dweeb to ultra cool?
Yeah.
So thoughts?
I haven't noticed any change in me. Yeah.
So, right. So, yes is the answer. We're all cool dudes. Where are we here? Hang on.
Definitely.
There were more questions than that. Hang on. Where are we? See, I've got most relevant on here. All comments. There we go. That was it. What's Alex Lechner says? I haven't seen this one yet. It must come up during the night. Talk about ways the Australians can come up with a great CBG swap-off like we have here in the USA. I know that there are a lot of great Australian CBG builders out there. It's good fun. Oh, can I just mention, sorry, I digressed for a second. Alex was the inspiration behind this guitar. Now, I didn't actually use anything that he gave me, but I was finding bits and pieces, and it kind of was one of those guitars that came together. And Alex is the inspiration behind that. So thank you, Alex, for inspiring me to build that. It's probably the most fun I've had building a guitar in, I can't even think. Yes, we should get a swap going here in Australia.
I'm down.
Absolutely.
It's pretty fun.
Absolutely. We would probably need to set up a new group and get people to sign up for the new group. Is there a way that we can link the two groups? I don't know. But the Aussie swap off, the great Aussie swap off or something. So I'm not sure. Look, we will definitely look into it. I think we've
for that.
It would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a hell of a lot of fun. Life is busy, but I think when it comes to doing something like this, one of my favourite guitars was a guitar built for me by Michael Breedlove. And I did a swap off in America, and we organised it. He organised it so that I swapped with someone in America. Was it Michael? Michael Pinkerton? Oh, God, I've gone blank. I can't remember if it's Michael Pinkerton or...
Oh, it was... Hey... I put that together, Adam. I put that together 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But I think you had Russ Wellington.
No, I don't think so.
Nice.
Was it Russ?
I could handle one from Russ.
He's great.
He's a good builder, a good performer too.
But Michael felt bad.
I like Russ. He's a good fella.
Yeah, but Michael felt bad that people, because at the time, and it's still the same at the moment, the prices from America to Australia are quite expensive. But Michael felt bad that it was going to cost someone in America too much to send to me. So he actually said, okay, well, you swap with this person. I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Russ. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember now. It's terrible. I know the name is on the tip of my tongue, and I apologise to you if you're listening to this. Please go in the comments and say, Adam, you're a moron. It was me. And I apologise, I do. But Michael actually made me a guitar. And it's
probably... did a swap.
Sorry? Well, you and I swap all the time at Christmas time. You and I have swapped guitars heaps.
Yeah, but I remember Jesse organised a swap off, and I got stuck with you.
Oh yes, that's right.
I remember that too. Yes, I do remember that.
So chances of that, hey?
There you go.
I wanted to be paired up with Jesse.
Yeah.
Get one of his guitars.
Me too.
That was,
Hey, Joe. I'll swap one with you, buddy.
Yep.
Not one of those left-handed ones, though. The knobs get in the way.
We'll do a swap.
Well, look, let's.
No, you wouldn't believe. I've got to build a left-handed guitar.
Let's talk about
What's that?
I've got to build a left-handed guitar. Huh?
Oh, you are. You got an order.
Left-handed.
What?
You got an order.
Got an order for a left-handed.
No,
my
grandson. My grandson.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
He's left-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, get into play right. Get into play right. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Get into play right.
String, so I'm left. I agree, 100%. So when I first started playing guitar, I was about 14, and the guy said, "What are you, left or right-handed?" I said, "Left-handed." He strung it up. He took the strings off, put a new set on, strung them up the other way around, and I've been doing it ever since. I wish he didn't say that. I wish he said, "You're left-handed, but we're going to teach you right-handed." I wish he said that, but he didn't.
Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix.
Found, because but I have found being a left-handed playing a 3-string upside down tuned to say G isn't that hard. It's not that hard. You just have to strum differently. Instead of doing it starting on a downstroke, start on an upstroke, and now you'll be just the same. The problem with being left-handed with writing and everything else in the world is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's like it's not a non-issue. All right, you don't have to have a left-handatorium and all that sort of stuff like in The Simpsons. But playing, if you learn to play guitar right-handed from a young age, you're now presented with all of the choices in the guitar world. Because left-handed guitars are very hard to come by. Not all companies make them. I'm having a hard time making you out, Adam.
You're right. Sorry, can you hear me?
They are. That's actually why I started building.
Yeah.
I started building because they're so hard to come by.
Yep.
I was sick of walking into a guitar shop and seeing 100 guitars on the wall, and I only had 2 or 3 to choose from.
Yep.
So this is ridiculous. I built my own, and it was a Fender Strat copy,
Yep.
and that was it. I was like, I'm never buying a new guitar again.
Yeah.
I'm building my own from now on.
They're also more expensive. They're at least 10% more expensive as well.
That too.
And even the parts, even parts, you know, and it's harder to get the left-handed paint as well. You know, it's difficult.
I got it next to the left. I got it to the next left-handed screwdriver.
Yeah. And you got to watch out because.
I tell you what, though, as a left-handed, you go.
Somebody talk.
No, you're right. I was just waiting for you. Sorry, Joe.
All right. So one of the hardest tools I have ever found as a left-hander is a pair of scissors, because a pair of scissors is molded for your thumb. When I put it in my thumb, it actually sort of digs in and cuts. So in my whole life, that's the only thing
We're losing
that I have found to be a pain in the
All right,
ass.
we're losing you a little bit, Joe.
Scissors.
All right, and now the other thing is,
That's it. I'm done.
Okay, so Joe, did you when you go and get
Frozen in time.
I can't tell if Adam's frozen or not.
no when you go into your local music shop next, or if you need to order from me, just to have a look, because on the corner of the corner of the string sets, there's now an L for the left-handed sets that they're doing. All right.
Right, for the 10% extra.
Yeah,
we'll do that one.
Yeah, Killer Strings now in left-handed versions. 10% extra. All right. On that note, guys.
For $300.
On that note, guys, I've got to say, sorry, time has gotten away with us. We've been going an hour and 21 minutes. Oh my God. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Big thanks to our sponsors, CB Giddy, for sponsoring the show. Really appreciate it. You will see a link in the comments down there, or in the episode description, for our what do we call it? Affiliate program that we're doing. Big thank you to the people who have been ordering from CB Giddy using the affiliate. It's been incredibly helpful. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Really appreciate your time, guys. Also, don't forget to check Joe out at Clutch Creations on Facebook. Check out Jesse at Hummingbird Guitars on Facebook as well. You can check out Darren just there. Darren, give us a pose. That's the pose. And if you want to see what I'm doing, go to birdwoodguitars.com. And all right, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful week. Happy building. And bye for now.